Hey, we're back on the single cab, and that passenger side was so successful. What do you say we try the driver's side? I think it's time to get started on this driver's side. The passenger side turned out pretty great. I'm pretty happy with it, you know? Um, Still haven't ground the welds down because I hate doing that. We're going to say that we have all the welds to grind, so it's real torture. But like I mentioned, I think we want to go ahead and get this driver's door taken off. I'll give you a little review because it's been a while. This dog leg was damaged severely when this truck showed up. Like that, it was rubbing the tire. It was so smashed up. So I did an initial cut to get it off the tire, and it was torn out of the A-pillar pretty bad. That lighting's not great, but you can tell even with poor lighting that A-pillar's in bad shape. We're gonna have to patch that up. I went ahead and marked this dog leg earlier right here. That is the extent of the replacement dog leg piece we have. So don't want to cut any higher than that. Probably going to start out cutting lower than that. But first things first, like I said, I think we should try to get this door off. Getting these old doors off can be tricky, but there's a tool that I was introduced to a couple years ago, maybe a few more than that. Put this on your little air chisel here. Got a Phillips head bit and a handle to control it and try to turn it. But, you know, basically a beefed up version of that old put the screwdriver in, whack it with a hammer deal. I'm still not guaranteeing that these screws are all going to come out beautifully. They probably need some soaking, but we're going to see what we can get done. There's no doubt it's going to take more than a little penetrant and that air chisel to get them out of there. They are pretty rough, but got to get it off somehow, so here we go. So we got 4 screws on each hinge. These are a lot more accessible. These, they're kind of tucked behind this seal channel. You're going to have to get that seal out for sure, and you're probably going to have to end up bending that out of the way. Same thing down here, except there's 2 inside the truck and 2 outside the truck. So not as much of an issue there. Like I said, look at them. You can tell those guys are not eager to come out. I definitely had a lot more room working on the passenger side. My shop stores my hoard and has room for about one thing to be worked on. Maybe half a thing, who knows. Anyway, we're going to make the most of it. What I like to do first is actually put this impact, the chisel in there, with the Phillips bit, and just beat the snot out of that screw to loosen up the rust before I ever try to turn it. And then when you go to turn it, you just put some light pressure on it until it finally starts to give. Hopefully finally starts to give. And once it breaks loose, I leave that Phillips bit in there, and like any good rusted screw, crank it back and forth, start loosening that rust off and let that penetrant get in there. Guys, as always, make sure and wear your eye and ear protection. That is a awful job. This is a really old cheap air chisel I got with like my first air compressor when I was a young man. And it works really great for pulling these door bolts, screw head bolts out. Got a much bigger air chisel over there that I use for other things, but I don't even know if you can see this. It kind of does a number on that Phillips head eventually when you're doing these. So it's good to have some of those backed up spare, ready for you to replace if you break one up. Anyway, all 8 of those are loose. I'm not saying they're out, but they're loose. They have been broken loose of their grip. So let's see if we can get them out. It's a good idea to keep the lubricant handy. They've been in there for quite a few years now, and I'm pretty sure they went in unprotected, raw. So, and we might have to get the air chisel back over here and hit them again. Any of those threads sticking through there, got some good buildup on them. But if we can get them loose right now, loose enough to get that little spray nozzle back behind it, let some of that penetrant soak in, we're going to be in better shape. These ones that are inside the truck here, so far one of them came right out. Maybe they're a little more protected. Nope. Top one came out, bottom one did not. All right, well, you get the idea. I'll bring you back when this door's coming off. It is with great pride that I get to report to you that all 8 of those came out. Not a single one broken, not a single one stripped. They were all removed successfully, and now our door's off. So now we have access to a lot of the stuff we need to see. And that's great, because there is a lot that needs to be addressed. Let me give you a better look. Come on in. So there's a little better look at that A-pillar and what kind of shape it's in. We're going to do some patchwork here for sure. We can't put a dog leg back to that. God, honestly, it needs to be replaced. And I might have to look at doing that, because that is pretty bad off right there. Let me think. So this is what we've got, and that's what it's supposed to look like. Can you see it? I cut some of the rust out, and this piece is mine for another bus. I just went and got it for reference because up here was so damaged. I was trying to figure out what exactly it was supposed to look like. So I pulled out that A-pillar I have for a project, and I'm realizing there's a ton of damage in this. It's been hit out here, which has caused the nose and the outer valance, which means the inner valance is damaged. Guys, I'm gonna, I grabbed a piece of scrap metal and I started fitting it up here, thinking, okay, it's something we can do. If you look at it, this is smooth metal underneath that hinge plate. There's that little indent where the hinge goes, but other than that, this is smooth. Got some brakes that go out here and a big brake to the inside. I very crudely started building this just to kind of get an idea of where we were at, and that's when I started realizing how much this pillar is out of orientation. I am going to put a phone call into the owner. I've talked about this recently. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos. I talk to the owner of this truck on a regular basis, but this truck keeps presenting new problems. And that was not his intent when he got it. It was, let's put a front floor in it. And then it turned into, well, the fender tubs are ate out real bad. It's not going to support a seat. Let's do those. Well, the toolbox is full of rusty rat nest, and it rusted it out. We haven't even left the cab yet. We're not done. And this project is over a year in the works with me spending weekends on it, Yes, I got interrupted with some other stuff, but blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what I'm saying is I'm going to contact the owner. I'm going to let him know what we're up against. Do you want to buy A-pillars? Do you want me to patch the A-pillars? Are you so fed up with this truck that you're done with it? I laughed, but that's a possibility. We get done with these things sometimes. Anyway, the truck has come a long way since we got started. And man, it still has great potential. But it just keeps showing itself to be one of the rustiest single cabs that's out there. Joking. I know there's some awful, awful trucks out there. But, here we are, guys. This tub, it's so close to going in. But the dog leg is essential. I'm just kind of torn. So let me contact the owner. I'll get back to you. Well, progress has been put on hold. I talked to the owner. I explained what we were running into. And he said I should really come look at it. He honestly has another single cab that's running and driving and in nicer shape that he's got in the past year since this one got dropped off. So there's a chance that this project is getting ready to get moved on to someone else. That's one chance. There's another possibility that he's going to see what we're doing, be inspired, and decide to go ahead and patch or buy new A-pillars or do something. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a bit overwhelming, and it's not my project. I understand him wanting to come see it in person. We're still on the cab. This truck needs rockers. This truck needs rear corners. This truck needs a patch put in the bed space. And like I've mentioned before, this truck has been rolled. That roof, it's got some issues. Anyway, his call, not mine, but he said, why don't you hold on? Let's take a look at this thing a little bit closer. He wants to see it in person. So hopefully in the next week or so, he's going to try to stop by, check it out, see the progress we've made, see what lies ahead of us, and make a decision on what he wants to do with this truck. I'll let you all know what I find out. So this was a bit of a short one today. Unexpected circumstances. That comes along with car projects. All the same, I wanted to go ahead and put this video out and update you on where we're at. You know, the future of the single cab here is unknown. Not trying to make it more dramatic than it is, but that's a fact. So I will let you all go for today. I want to thank you for being here and thank you for following along. Let me know your thoughts. I can pass them on to the owner. Should we keep going? Or should he let someone else take on this project since he got another single cab? I don't know, guys. I don't know. What I do know is no matter if this thing goes on to somebody else, there's still plenty more for us to work on around here. I've got that 62 single cab sitting right over there that my son and I need to get working on. I'd really like to have it ready for a car show in June here locally. It needs some metal work. So hey, even if this truck were to go away, we've got another single cab that needs metal work. You know, same issues, maybe not as severe. Some floor patch. I'm not going to get into it. We got another single cab. We got a 60 combi, a 55 combi, a 57 combi. You catch a theme? I like combis. The 21 needs some work, and we got that automatic Westie sitting back here. Anyway, all that to say, stay tuned. Subscribe, like the video, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what message I can pass on to the owner of the 61 single cab. But most importantly, again, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. Thanks to all those subscribers. And guys, this is what projects turn into sometimes. Sometimes they don't quite go as planned. But I'll let you guys know where this one ends up. And it might end up staying here. I'm not trying to be vague about this. I really don't know. Until the owner gets here, I don't know for sure. Ramble, ramble, ramble. You guys know me. All that to say, until next time.